Hello again, 7th graders. It's Mrs. Berg back again with you to talk about the intellectual, emotional, and social development of infants. All right, so for their intellectual development, they explore objects in many different ways. So by looking at these pictures, you can tell they love chewing everything, right? Everything goes in the mouth. They love things that feel different textures. Making noise. If you have a little brother and sister, you know what this sounds like, right? Banging on pots and pans, banging on the table with forks and toys and whatever. And of course, seeing what they can do with like throwing things like a ball. So mouthing, shaking, banging, and throwing. I'm going to move my picture just a little bit, get that out of the way here. They love putting objects in their mouth. Because of this, it is very important not to let the infant have small objects. So I'm sure you guys have, heard this before. Woo! Where did Mrs. Berg go? Here we go. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Babies can't have any kind of like small objects like candy, hard candies especially, hot dogs, any of that kind of thing, because they will choke. Think about toys with little tiny pieces. You know, if they've got a big brother or sister around and their big brother or sister has Legos out, Legos are a huge choking hazard for children under 3. All right. Intellectual development continued. This is where they start to find objects that are hidden, and we call this object permanence. So as you can see down here, before 8 months of age, a baby will think that an object has just disappeared if it's covered or hidden from view. For example, if a special toy is covered with a blanket, an infant at 7 months will likely lose interest and just look away. The concept that objects exist even when they can't be seen is called object permanence. Take a quick look at this video.
New babies aren't quite sure what happens to objects when they leave their sight. Sky's mom keeps disappearing and reappearing. No wonder peekaboo is so much fun. During their first year, however, infants will learn an important concept: object permanence. Everything has a life of its own, even if it is out of sight.
At Maya's age, babies know to look for the object, but they might not have everything else straight. 10-month-old Simon is about to make a classic mistake, known as the A, not B error. Although he watched us place the toy plane under the white cloth, he'll look for it where he last found it, not where he watched us hide it. If a 1-year-old can't find an object they want right away, they're likely to give up looking.
Okay, that's a great example of object permanence. Okay, so next, they learn to respond to their name and no or stop. Watch this. This is super short. Watch again. Her name is Lane. So you see how when her mom or her caregiver says her name, she stops what she's doing and she looks up to see who called me. And the same thing if a parent uses no or stop, they understand the meaning of that too. Okay, so language development goes from babbling to first words by 1 year. Babbling is just nonsense talk. You can have all kinds of sounds coming out of these babies, and nobody really knows what they're saying except for themselves. But you have to play along like you do. Here is a great example of babbling. Check out this video. Don't you just wonder what they're saying? I'm gonna pause it for just a second. I like to try to, like, in my head, come up with a story of like what they're saying to each other. So I'll narrate this for you. He's like, dude, you're missing a sock. You have to have socks on in order to play. I can't find my sock. My sock just disappeared. Well, you should look for it. Do you want me to help you? Nah, let's just let Mom find it. You getting hungry? I'm kind of getting hungry. All right, I'm going to pause it there. So that's a great example of just babbling. They're trying to communicate with each other, but there aren't real words coming out yet. Okay, starting social and emotional development. They love social play and playing games. They imitate gestures and sounds. This is where, like, the mom is teaching this little baby, like, to blow kisses, how to blow kisses. Or this is also when they learn how to wave bye-bye. You know, usually they go like this, bye-bye. You know, or they start to make sounds, you know, like mama, mama, that kind of thing. Okay, so social and emotional development, they get shy or anxious with strangers. So this is oftentimes called stranger anxiety. And I just thought a really good example of that is the way a lot of children are when they have to go sit on Santa's lap, right? These two children are obviously not okay with Mom just plopping them down on the lap of a random stranger dressed in these really bright colors and tons of hair, right, all over. They don't know this person. They want to go back to their parent. All right, so they start to vocalize attitude. Whoopsie, sorry, I clicked too fast. I can't see. Back, here we go. They start to vocalize their attitude. So oftentimes you can really tell what infants are feeling just on their facial expression and the tone of their voice when they're expressing something. So, I mean, just looking at these cute little faces, you know exactly what those little kids are thinking, right? Okay, so safety word bank for infants. These are the words that you are going to use in your interactive notebook. So baby gates, just go over these really quickly. Baby gates, when babies start to crawl around, they need to be protected from falls. So at the top of stairs or the bottom of stairs, so they can't go up, you need to have baby gates. Strap. They always have to be strapped in to cars safely, and not even just their car seats, but swings and bouncy chairs. What else? Those, what are those called? Those little things they sit in the middle and they can spin and there's toys all around them. I forget the name of those right now. Never, ever leave a baby unattended. Just ever, okay? They cannot be unattended. Seatbelt, of course, they need to be belted in. And we have to protect them from choke hazards, any kind of tiny toys or foods. All right, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed learning about infants. Have a great day, everybody.